Hello friends, welcome back to the garden next door. I'm Danielle and today we're doing something that is long overdue, and that is a chicken coop refresh. If you've ever opened the door to your chicken coop and said, "Oh, that is ripe," then you are in the exact right spot, because we're going to talk about how to make your chicken coop smell much better. Maybe not like roses or flowers, but it's going to smell a lot better. And we're going to talk about how to get your coop ready for the winter. Now, the winter is really important because it means that the chickens are most likely going to be hanging out inside their coop a lot more. So we're going to do a total refresh of the bedding, the nesting boxes, their watering, and we'll do some cleanup to their outside run. This is definitely content that you're going to want to see if you own chickens and you get into the winter season, because it is packed with everything you need to know. Winter's honestly the best time to do a really deep clean out, especially as the winters start to drop. You want to make sure that you're providing a clean space for your chickens, as similar to humans, we're all going inside a lot more. Now, in our chicken coop, we do the deep litter method. So we're not going to clean out all of the bedding, but instead we're going to kind of revive it. That means mixing it up, similar to what you would do with any compost system, kind of just getting some air in there. We are going to clean up. There's some eggs that are in the back corner that have probably just been like sitting for a while. Not too great. So we are going to try to get and find those, because I've just been really bad at cleaning them. And then we're going to add some new bedding. So let's get inside. A good winter cleanup helps with lower ammonia levels, better air quality, less moisture buildup, fewer pests like mites or lice, and happier, healthier birds. So back to the basics, let's empty this out. When cleaning your coop with the deep litter method, we want to make sure that we're leaving everything in there. We're just kind of moving it around, and then we're adding some more organic materials on top. So I really am targeting the corners where things can build up. Under the roosting bars are also going to be really important, because that's where your chickens are kind of standing and making all their droppings. And then around any food or water, you want to make sure that you're not adding any moisture into the coop while you're doing this. And be worried, because it can be quite dusty, so you might want to have an air mask on, or make sure to open up any nesting boxes or just provide any ventilation into the space before you go into it. Next, we're going to be adding some bedding on top. Now, bedding there are so many different options that you can be using for inside of your coop. So probably the most popular, especially in the winter, is going to be straw. Straw is really great because it can add a nice insulated area into your bedding. And it's nice, comfy for your chickens. They love to scratch at it. But with straw comes some cons as well. So it can pick up that moisture and it doesn't really let it go. So that means that you can grow mold and you can just attract more moisture into your coop, which we definitely do not want. When we first started keeping chickens, we used a lot of straw, and we did notice just so much mold build up, so much moisture brought into the area, that we really don't use it anymore. Sometimes we'll use it in our nesting boxes, but we really try not to use it inside of the coop. Honestly, all the straw we use is in our garden beds over here. And we use that really to keep our plants warm, especially in the winter, and keep out some of the weed barrier. The next option is going to be wood shavings or pine cuttings. And this is a really great layer. You can get these at any pet store, any feed store, mill store. You can get these. You can also order some. And this is the best option. They're super absorbent. They usually have a pretty good smell to them. Pine shavings can be really great in the winter, but you just are going to need more of them. They're not usually as warm, and they can be quite dusty. So some things to keep in mind. Now, the next option here is wood mulch, which is actually what we're going to use today. And this is probably not the best option for inside of your coop. And the reason is because you can get some pretty big chunks in here that are just not going to provide much for the coop. So they are going to break down a lot slower. But if you can get some small little pieces, and this is like 6-month-old mulch that we had delivered, that's going to be much better. You want to make sure that you're not adding wet mulch into your coop because you really don't want to add more moisture, especially as the freezing temperatures come at night. Then it's just going to create a really moisture, cold environment for your chickens that they can definitely get sick from. However, there are also some great pros on wood chips. First off, they are going to be great for the deep litter method. So since we are doing that, it's a great method. They are less dusty than your pine shavings or wood shavings would be. Oops. And they're free if you can get people to drop off wood chips, which we can. So we're just gonna sprinkle this on top and then mix it in. Another great free option for bedding are leaves. These are great because they are free. Chickens absolutely love scratching them. They're a great organic matter that will break down in your deep litter compost really, really well. And as long as you're able to get dry leaves, this is going to be wonderful. If you only have available wet leaves, then it's not going to be as great because they can mold, create more moisture into the space. So I definitely suggest if you have a few days where it hasn't really rained, it's nice and dry in the air, that you can also be adding leaves to your bedding. So we'll throw some of these in. And what's great about leaves is you can just add them into what's already in your bedding and then mix them in there. You wouldn't want to just put leaves, that's it. I suggest definitely mixing it in with some different items here. Okay, let's talk herbs. So in here, I have some dried up herbs from this year's garden. You can add things like mint, lavender, oregano, and rosemary, which I have some in here. And all you have to do here is just sprinkle this inside of your coop. And what's nice about this is it's actually going to make it naturally smell a lot better. It's a nice organic matter that you can be adding to it. It's free if you have your own herb garden, you're drying your own herbs. And it also will prevent bugs from coming in here as well. So let's put some of this in. Another great addition that you can be adding to your coop is diatomaceous earth. You don't want to add a lot, but spreading in areas like the corners and underneath the roosting bars is going to be great. Just put a little bit in and it will really make sure that pests are not welcomed in, because you really don't want those pests to come in and start living on your chickens. That'll be a big no-no, not great. Another great addition is the Coop Refresh from Grubterra. So this is made with natural, powerful essential oils. It helps bedding last longer. It's made in the US and chickens love it. So a really great addition that you can add to help keep your coop smelling fresh for up to 15 weeks. Next up is cleaning out the nesting boxes. So I don't know about you, but our nesting boxes can get quite dirty. I also need to save these eggs. Bring these inside. But I have a bucket here. I'm going to grab our nesting box beds. So these can just get really, really dirty. You can see here, just builds up, eggs cracking on them, poop in here, just things that you don't want. And it's just going to create a not clean area. So I'm going to let this air out. Honestly, the best thing you can do for keeping an organic chicken coop and cleaning it organically is give it fresh air and sunlight. So I'm going to try to let this clean out. My chickens are free ranging today. And while I do that, I'm going to go ahead and hose these mats. But these are really great. They're plastic. What I like about them is they're just easy to clean. You can cut them into your shape. I will link these down below. They're from Amazon. They're pretty affordable and they're really easy to clean and they're reusable. While you're cleaning out the inside of your coop, it's also a really great time to add to the outdoor run as well, which usually just means dropping in some new mulch or leaves. I just kind of do a pile here and I let the chickens go through it. It's a fun activity for them. In the winter, everyone, including chickens, are spending a lot more time inside than outside. Temperatures are dropping, there's snow, hail, icy cold rain, and they want a nice, warm, clean space that they can hang out in. The more time that they're spending inside means that it's gonna get a lot dirtier in there. We do use the deep litter method, but adding some additional layers, mixing things up, adding some things like diatomaceous earth, herbs, and a fresh layer of bedding and getting everything in there is going to be key to having happy and healthy chickens that don't get lice or mites and will not get any type of frost burn onto their combs if they're spending time outside because they don't want to be inside the coop. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're always all winter keeping up with your coop. So every couple of weeks going in there, cleaning it up. You might want to add some nice coop refresh like we talked about, as well as always providing your chicken with free and unlimited warm water that is not frozen, as well as food. They're using a lot more energy to keep themselves warm during this time. They might not be laying as many eggs or no eggs at all, but they really need that energy to keep themselves warmer during this time. I hope this was helpful. We'll see you again next time. Bye, everyone.